Hello friend, welcome back to my channel KBS Technocraft. Today in this video we are going to explore how you can use AI tools and open source tools for creating software diagrams in a minute. In this we are going to understand how we can use capability of StarUML alongside AI technology to effortlessly create professional diagrams. In this, we are going to understand how we can create class diagram, sequence diagram, flow diagrams, component diagram, also many more. Okay, so in this video, we will be using couple of open source tools. We will first try to open ChatGPT. So I just open ChatGPT, open AI, and then what we will do, first we will generate the text format of that document. The diagram generation is having two parts. One is generating a diagram into the text format, and then we will use other open source for importing the diagrams there, and then it will be visualize those text format of diagrams into the visualization, and then we can export import for further references. So let's type some prompt which will give you the diagram. To save the time, I have saved this all prompt here. So let's try one by one. So first I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me a class diagram syntax. Okay, so I just asked to ChatGPT give me a class diagram for user registration using StarUML syntax. So it's going to give me a syntax where it will be in text format and it will be starting with the start UML. I will discuss later that what is this start UML at the rate tag. But let me copy this, and what I'm going to do that I'm going to create a file new, and I'm going to save. I'm going to copy that code and save it. So I just copy code, and I'm going to save this code as a class diagram. So I'm going to file, save as, and then I'm going to save as a class diagram. Okay, and then later I will import all this, right? So I just save it as a class diagram, right? I'll again open new, and then I will try to use flow diagram. So the example which I have considered is just for a user registration. Just make it very simple. I just try to put it. You can put it any use case which you want to create it. So let me uh, type it here, give this prompt, and then you will be able to see that it's generating a flow diagram code here. Also, it's giving me the bullet point of this. Basically, what does it do? So I'm copying this here, and then I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to save this file as a sequence sequence diagram, right? So I save by the sequence diagram. Similarly, I'm flow diagram. Basically, this is now I'm going to generate a sequence diagram. So the previous one was flow diagram. So let me rename it. Okay, so basically this was a flow diagram. So flow diagram. I just save it now. Okay, now I will create a new file here, and then I will paste this as a sequence diagram, whatever the code is generated. So this is basically a sequence diagram. This is flow diagram, and then let's try to generate a sequence diagram. So I'm just asking uh, to ChatGPT to give me a start UML syntax for sequence diagram for user registration. So if you see here, it will give me a sequence diagram for a diagram text code for sequence diagram. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to save it, right? And I'm going to give a name is sequence diagram. I will save it. Okay. Now let's move to the next. Uh, we will have a component diagram. So for component diagram, I'm just asking, give me component diagram for a three-tier application. Just to make it very simple, I just given this prompt. You can give it any informations which you want to. For let's say consider microservice architecture or three-tier architecture, n-tier architecture. You can give it anything, whatever you require. So I just copy it and then I will save it as a component diagram. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new file and paste it, and I'm going to save as component diagram. So I save as a component diagram. Then we will try to get a solution diagrams, high level diagram or solution diagrams for e-commerce websites, right? So I have given this prompt, and then you can see that it's generating the the syntax for that UML, that is syntax format, which we can use it in one of the open source tool to visualize it. So let's say copy it here, and then this is basically a solution diagram. So I'm going to open new file here, and I'm going to solution, save as solution diagram. Solution diagram. So I save as a solution diagram. Let's see couple of more. Basically mind map. So for example, the mind map, I just selected a very realistic scenario where you have a your GitHub repository and you want to have it branching strategy, how the branch creation and merge the process is. So for that, if you want to create a mind map diagram, right? So I have taken that scenario, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this, right? So it will create me a mind map diagram for that, basically for the mind map diagram code. So I just copy it here, and then I will go here and I will create new file and save it, and I will save as mind map mind map a diagram. So let's say consider I'm going to save it now, right? I will I saved it. So if I go to that particular folder, what I'm going to show you that all these my diagrams are there. So what I'm going to do, one by one, I'm going to import a tool. So now I will open a new tab and I will go here, uh, plant text, right? So I'm going on plant text. This is the open source which you can install the desktop version as well. I'm not going to install it. I'm going to use it here, right? So let me show you how we can do that. Let's say refresh it so that nothing is there. So what we have to do, whatever the diagram as a code we have generated using the chat GPT, we need to copy it and paste it here, right? So I can copy directly from chat GPT. I can copy from my text file as well. Let's see, I will copy from here one by one, and then we will paste it there. So this diagram is class diagram. So I will copy here from the chat GPT, whatever the diagram as a code has suggested. I will go there and I will paste there, right? And I will refresh it. So if you see the first, which is class diagram, you can see this class diagram also, it has the relationship is represented here, right? So this is the class diagram which is generated, right? Is generated here. Okay, so now let's go to the next one. What we have to do, one by one, we need to copy it and paste it. So this is basically a flow diagram. So I will copy this, and you can see here what I'm going to do it. I'm going to control V and refresh it. So if you see, this contains a complete flow diagram for user registration. You can zoom it, basically you can scale it based on your requirement, and also you can save it you can save it, you can download these files, whatever image format, right? So PNG, SVC, text. So if you want to have it for further modification, you can export as a text, or you can copy paste this text and you can update it, right? You can update any information, you can update any additional information here, you can add it, you can change this color and style. So in the last of this video, I will show that how we can make style for this. For example, if you want to change the arrow color, or if you want to change the each process color in different color, we can do that. So let's go one by one. So this was the flow diagram, how we can generate it. Now we will go sequence diagram for same user registration. We will try to see how does it generate it. So now let's say I will click on refresh. You can say it's very good sequence diagram with all the arrows and all the lifeline connection is all displayed, and it also has the actor over here, and it also contains the information. For example, if any of this information is not correct, you want to update it, you can go ahead and update it here, but because it's the text format, so you can do that. Okay, so this was sequence diagram. And let's say this is a component diagram. So for component diagram, we have considered a three-tier application component diagram. So let's say I'm copying it here. So it will give you very generic, but you can give it complex, prompt to answer it, and then you can generate it. So if you see this, this is basically a three-tier component diagrams which has it is very basic one, but you can give it the complex prompt there, and it will generate you. Definitely, it will not be 100% accurate. You might require to modify something, but at overall, it will give you the very good skeleton of the diagrams which you can modify in a minute. Okay, so this was three-tier application using plant ML diagram. So now let's say this e-commerce website solution diagram. So let's say consider this solution diagram. I copy this code which was generated by this, and I'm going to paste it and click on refresh. Okay, so you can see this. This basically is to give you the solution diagram, but it's very much similar to that. It has some additional information. You can modify it again. You can modify it based on your requirement, but it will give you very basic skeleton of that. Now let's move to the next one, where we said that mind map diagrams. Mind map diagrams, which represent that a very high level diagrams for that particular requirement, whatever you paste it. So let's say consider for me, I just ask that if you want to uh, create a mind map document for branching strategy. So I ask this prompt there, give me a mind map diagram for branching strategy. Then what does it do is give me this code. When I paste this code here, you can see here it's a branching strategy: main branch, feature branch, release branch, hot fixes branch, and then main branch has the master branch and development branch. Feature branches will have a feature one, feature two. Release branches will have a release one, two. Hot fixes branch is one, no, one, 1.1 and 2.1, something like that. So this is very good tool for generating, the software diagrams using AI tool in a minute. You can also make it color. So for example, let me here, if I type it, if you want to define a color for your diagrams, right? You want to do some coloring over there. So what you have to do, you have to just give a prompt in such a way so that it will generate the color. For example, I have given here, give me diagram for user registration using basically class diagram using start UML syntax and style. So it's give me this. Okay, but what happened? This syntax in the current version of the plant text is not supporting. So what I have given it that give me without define. So what does it give me? This. So here what happens, this it's created a color here by name, and then it used there, it used here. Okay, so what happens, this apply here. So for example, if you see border color here, right, border color for class is light and background color is yellow. So if I copy this, right, if I copy this and go to here and put it here and refresh it, so you can see this, the border color or line color and the class background color is yellow, right? If I put it, let's say consider if I put it blue here or red, it will be red. All right. If I refresh it, it will be red. It will be red. So that's how you can make it more stylish. Your diagrams, you can put it in this color coding in your sequence class and solution diagram as well. So I hope it help you to understand how to generate the software diagrams using AI tool. If yes, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and do press like and subscribe.